Call to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Berth, roll call.
Brandon Bowman.
Present.
Susan Graves. Present. Ben Wakefield.
Present.
Tamika Graham.
Present.
Sherry Lindsay.
Present.
And Karen Hall.
Thank you. Ms. Berth, can you note on your copy of the agenda that we called to order at 5:03 p.m.?
Yes.
Dr. Suggs, we're ready to begin our interviews.
Can we take a C on our agenda is adoption of the agenda?
I move that we accept the agenda for this evening. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comment or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda has been approved. Thank you, Dr. Suggs.
Thank you.
Board, we have no one present for public comment this evening. Dr. Suggs, I believe we're ready to begin the interviews.
Absolutely.
Good evening, Mr. Gordon. Mr. Bowman, thank you. My name is Brandon Bowman. I'm honored to serve as board president, and I'll start the questions this evening. Okay. Please tell us about yourself and what led you to apply for the position of board member for the Metropolitan School District of Wayne Township.
So I am not a West Sider, Wayne Township guy, born and raised. I came around the West Side 13 years ago or so, when I started dating my wife Michelle, current wife Michelle, who worked for the school district. The time she didn't, so I just got to know people in the community. Enjoyed the community. I moved closer. Michelle and I started dating a lot more. She left her job and started doing sub work in the school system. And after about a year of doing that, she became the building sub at McClellan, which was my first opportunity, if you will, to through her to be able to volunteer inside the school system. And inside McClellan itself. Since then, she has moved from being building sub to secretary, and now from the secretary to the principal secretary at McClellan. And in those years, I've had opportunity not only at McClellan but at other schools to volunteer, to meet students, to meet teachers, administrators. In 2020, I ran for election to this board. The one thing that I have taken away from all of my opportunities and the people that I've met with and dealt with is the passion that the teachers and the administrators and the staff have for their students. The students themselves, when I've dealt with them in the volunteer role, seem to be very energized in what they're trying to do and what they're trying to learn. And I just want to be a part of helping to facilitate for those teachers the opportunity to create a better future for the children.
Outstanding. Thank you. Well,
My name is Susan Graves. Share with us what you know about the MSD of Wayne Township.
I'm not sure what you're looking for there. It is a very diverse township. I think somewhere in the range of 35% African American, 30-some% Hispanic, 20-some Caucasian. It is a poor district. I think I saw a number somewhere between 65 and 70% of the students would qualify for free or reduced lunch. It is a broad district as far as a lot of schools, a lot of elementary schools, a couple different middle schools, a couple different high schools. It is a place where I know my wife comes home every night and talks about loving the people she works with. My wife we've had many discussions when money gets tight of, should she find a job where she makes more money? She comes home though and is happy when she comes home. And there's no amount of money that can make up, at all my years of working, there's no amount of money that can make up for the smile I see on her face when she leaves her job and when she talks about Mrs. Nichols and Mr. Dodson and the team that she works with there in Cologne. I'm not sure if that's the answer to what Mrs. Graves, but that's what I know of Wayne Township and the MSD of Wayne and Ben Davis and the people that are associated with it.
Good evening, I'm Marika Graham. Thank you for being here this evening. My question is, as a school board member, how would you ensure that all students, regardless of their background, learning needs, or life experiences, feel valued, supported, and able to succeed in our schools?
I'm going to speak to that from my experience through the Thrive program. I have a daughter who graduated from Wayne through the Thrive program. Seeing the care that she got from teachers through the years was amazing. When I met Michelle, Kaylee is Michelle's daughter. She's my stepdaughter. When I met Michelle, Kaylee was a very young teenager. And watching her grow up in this school system, and watching her grow in the things that she did. She came home, and I'll never forget this day. Kaylee is someone who, when she eats, because of her disability, she wants to be able to pick it up. It's very firm and put it in her mouth. She doesn't want to have to use a fork or anything like that. She came home having used a fork to eat a piece of chocolate pie in class one day, which was just something she had never done at home. And it made us know that the right things were happening inside the school where we couldn't be there with them. And I think knowing that this school system does the right things did the right things with Haley, I think allows me to know that being involved with the school system, being involved on this board, is going to allow me to help put the practices into place to where students who have disabilities, who are English as a second language learner, who may be Horizons students, that we can put the processes in place to allow them to excel to the best of their ability, no matter what that is. Some are going to struggle, some are going to fly out the door and be better than anything we could ever imagine. But I know that being on the school board is going to allow us to make the right decisions to put them in the place they need to be. I hope that answers the question.
Yep, thank you.
Mr. Gordon, I'm Sherry O'Day Marcotte, and happy for you to be here tonight. I have a two-part question for you, and I'll ask them both now, but if you need to repeat the second part, I can get to that.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you think is the best way to address differences of opinion on the board or between board members? And the second part is, could you support a board decision that you did not vote in favor of? And why?
Sure. First part, obviously. I think through discussion, civil discussion, It's something that as a country that we struggle to do sometimes, is have civil discussions and civil disagreements. We're not always gonna all agree on the same thing. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different perspectives on what is best for everybody involved. But I think having those discussions are what is what the process is like. It's like my wife and I, we don't always agree on how we're gonna discipline our children. But being able to have that discussion between the two of us and sit down and look at the pros and the cons and how it affects every member of the family. That's something we need to do, and I think as a board, that's something that I have sat in a lot of board meetings here and listened to a lot of things. I know, knowing some of you as I do, that you all didn't agree on every item that came across that desk. And that will then address your second one. That's part of the democratic process. That's part of why you have 7 members on a board instead of 6. That allows that simple majority sometimes to have that thing and to have that rule. And that's just part of the country we live in, is that you're not always going to agree with every decision that comes down, but you have to be able to put that aside, put your feelings aside, your thoughts aside, and do what the group as a whole determined was best for that situation and for the school board or the school system, the teachers, the students, and the community.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Gordon. I believe we know each other.
Mr. Wakefield.
That you're here today. Can you describe how you approach collaborating with a group of individuals? They hold different perspectives, and how you would apply that approach when working with fellow members on the school board?
Yeah, I think it goes to the biggest part of that is getting an understanding of the different viewpoints. No matter what your perspective is and what your viewpoint is, there's always a different side. And I think part of having that discussion is listening with your ears, if you will, to what the other side is saying. Repeat your question for me. I want to make sure I'm not getting off track.
Yeah, how you approach collaborating with a group of individuals who might hold a different perspective, and how that applies your approach to working with fellow board members.
I think it starts with listening and making sure that, first of all, you understand what is on the agenda, what is the question in play. And I think having that open mind to be able to listen, having the perspective of, I'm not always right, I think is key and important. I've learned in a lot of years of marriage that I'm not always right. And sometimes it's best to listen to the other side and understand that there are definitely opportunities for improvement and for learning. I learn something every day, or at least I hope I do, that makes me a better person. And I don't think would be any different than sitting collaboratively with the 6 of you, or whoever might be sitting on the board at any point, through a discussion.
Mr. Gordon, time commitment is necessary in the role of being a board member. Therefore, what do you believe is involved or should be included within the time commitment?
I'm sure I understand the question.
What do you see as appropriate functions or participations of a school board member regarding the time committed to the role?
That is hard to say, I guess, because I don't know what time commitments you guys have, I guess, to the role. I don't know how much you guys spend on a weekly basis. I'm assuming each one of you spend a different amount of time in the role. I think, let me say that as someone who, when I make a commitment, I make a commitment. Whatever that role looks like, whatever that commitment looks like, I need to make is what I'm willing to do. My wife and I have sat down, and prior to filling out the application and starting this process, we understood that There would be a time commitment. There would be something, there may be times on weekends I need to focus on doing that. There may be times, obviously Monday nights for a couple nights a month will be busy. There may be other nights of the week where I need to go through paperwork and I need to do this and do that. And that's part of being in the role and taking that ownership of doing what it is I'm asked to do. My wife and we talked about, knowing that Mr. Nance's role, his position was going to end at the end of next year, would immediately basically mean if I get this position, I would almost immediately have to jump into a campaign. Am I willing to do that? And I told her, I said, if I start this process, there's no reason why I wouldn't be willing to do that. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of, let me say this, I think having talked to you, each of you, or most of you, and you all seem very happy in your roles. I don't think any of you are putting in so much time that it is negatively affecting your life away from here. If I can say that, I know Mr. Bowman, you have a full-time job. I know Mr. Wakefield, you do too. Mrs. Graham, I know you do. You have a very busy full-time job. So I don't believe that time commitment is going to be so great that I won't be able to handle it. I will say in the month of December, most of you know my schedule gets a little busier, but nothing that I don't think I can not take care of it. Thank you. You're welcome.
How are you doing, Mr. Gordon?
Good. Thank you.
My question is, how would you describe your understanding of school budgeting and financial decision-making? And what factors will guide your thinking when considering whether a referendum is necessary to support the district needs?
I'll be honest, the finance side is probably my weakest side. It's not a strength, something that I've done a lot of in my history. I have looked into the finance side a little bit. I've had a couple opportunities actually to speak with Mr. Nance about it, and I'm while he was on. I know that making the decisions going into the last referendum, I sat and I had a couple of conversations with Mr. Nance about it. He, for whatever reason, seemed to be the guy who I always was drawn to when it comes to the financial side because I didn't understand it. But knowing, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Getting thrown off here. I'm trying to figure out how to focus back on your answer to give you the right answer. I think seeing all the points for that pull out, sitting and looking at data, listening to those who are experts in that area, because we're not all going to be experts in every area that we need to deal with. So I think listening mostly to those who are experts in that subject matter, going over budgets, looking at numbers. I am a spreadsheet guy, so I'm pretty good at looking at spreadsheets and figuring out, the bottom line on things. And I think just, again, collaboratively working together to figure out what is the best thing for the school. Without a referendum, what does it do? What does it mean? How do we make ends meet? How do we, I know our referendum ends here, I believe in 27. A decision would need to be made. I just think it's a matter of making sure that we make the best fiscal decision for the community. It's elected this board to make those decisions.
Last question, Mr. Gordon. Please share why you were the best candidate for the position of MSD One Township board member.
Good question. I hope I am the best person for this board position because I'm passionate about, first of all, this community. I have a feeling one of the reasons I'm sitting in this chair today is because some of you know my love and passion for this community and what the volunteer work that I have done in it. each of you, many of you anyway, has allowed me to gain an understanding of what you guys are looking at, looking for. I've spent a lot of time, actually, I will leave this meeting to McClellan and throw on a Santa suit to be their Santa for the night. Some of them actually told me I should have worked the meeting for this interview. So I didn't think that was quite the appropriate way to go. I did wear my Christmas socks though. But I think that my love for Wayne, my love for the people that are involved, Mrs. Nichols, Mr. Dodson, I don't know a lot of the administrators of other schools, but I'm fortunate enough to know a lot of people inside that school. And I love their passion. I love knowing that I could be in a position to help them help the students. And to me, that's what it all boils down to is none of this matters if we're not helping our students get to the finish line that they need to get to, whether that be career, college, military, whatever that looks like. We need to make sure our board needs to make sure it's in a position to do what it needs to do to help them get to that mission. And I believe that is the role and what the board needs to do. Where I have a strength is that is my end goal is every student across the finish line the best way possible, and that we give our teachers and the staff the best possible tools to make that happen.
Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Suggs, do you know if Dr. Harvey's still here?
Yes.
Is there a chance I could get another, my computer keeps giving me issues today.
Glitchy. Okay,
Yes, thank
absolutely.
you.
We'll take care of it.
I get my pick.
One just in case one doesn't capture it.
Pick me out for some reason. So here, you have to sign in to access Google first, or the Way Learning Hub. I gotta sign to that first. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, there.
Yeah.
Hold on. There it is. Didn't work. back here and I'll figure it out. Yeah. I got it all figured out. I just wanted you to get some extra steps, Dr. Suggs. Sorry.
Okay.
It's good.
It's still loading up, but I think we got it going.
Okay. We can have this unit looked at.
Yeah, and just keep, I'm not sure, it just, I think we all had glitchy issues with the new ones and they kind of all went away, but it keeps kicking me out and had some other. What just kicked me out too? It's like that out actually. Yeah, it kicked me out, just restarted. Mhm. It just completely restarted. Okay, we're back. I know. Yeah. I got it. Oh, back screen. Does it take? You can send it out. I'll wave at somebody, or I can write down notes and do it later. Let's keep the evening moving. Okay, yeah. I don't want to slow anybody down. Yeah, take that one. Take this one away. Thank you. Between these two, and if I can just get a pen or paper, then I'll be good. Oh, look at that. That's between the right two people. Okay.
All right, I'm not writing down.
Thank you. I got it. Thank you, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
Good.
Mr. Griffin, Brandon Bowman, I'm honored to serve as board president, and I'll start the interview this evening. Please tell us about yourself and what led you to apply for the position of board member for the Metropolitan School District of Wayne Township.
Yes, I'm Joe Quinn Griffin. I am an alum of Wayne Township, actually. I am originally from Michigan, but I spent the last 15 years in Indianapolis, where I went to North Wayne. Later went to Chapel Hill, Max Grace Center, then graduated from Mid Davis when I was at IU, where I studied public affairs and nonprofit management. Currently, I am a resident of Wayne Township, and I also am an employee of Indiana University, where I work with alumni relations and development. And I also getting my master's degree in public affairs, where I specialize in innovation and social change. And so within that space, you know, we talk about systems, and we talk about improving public, organizations, and how we can continue to increase the effectiveness of different systems. And I think with my experience from my undergraduate involvement, as well as my commitment to Wayne Township throughout my career as a student, as well as an adult, I have yearned to continue to support this district and to continue to involve myself in the district. This year, actually, I became a member of the Wayne Township Education Foundation Board, an organization that I am deeply passionate about, that I supported as a student through community theater, as well as an intern in college and stay connected. Actually, through COVID, was able to present some grants and things to teachers in the classrooms, which was another highlight of my involvement in the district.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mr. Griffin. My name is Susan Graves, and I'm the Vice President of the board. So my question for you is share with us what you know about the MSD of Wayne Township.
Yes, yes, glad to know. So I know that Wayne Township is one of the most diverse school districts within the state of Indiana. And with that, Wayne Township has many schools. And you know, when we think about elementary, there's 11. We have the you know, the high schools. We have the 2 centers for the middle school, and then we have a few different programs. And within that, we have about 73% of our students receive free and reduced lunch. We have students who are also that same rate is economically disadvantaged. And so we're continuing to find different ways to be innovative and improving outcomes for those students, as well as the staff and administrators within our district. I think Wayne Township is, you know, leading in a few of these efforts to continue to support our schools and our students with the recent legislative changes at the state and federal levels. You know, being around more than 6 years, Wayne Township is a pillar of the west side of Indianapolis. They continue to shine, whether that's through academics, athletics, and some of the fun things I like to think about Wayne Township. They're currently on the 5th superintendent in the district's entirety, and so pretty soon there'll be the 6th superintendent will start their term. You know, 38% of the students are Black, about 34 are Hispanic, and about 21 are white. Those are the leading numbers when it comes to the district. The district values things that I value. They value growth, equity, integrity, trust, and high expectations. And I think that's something that aligns closely with me. That's something that I resonate deeply and inspired by, continue to work towards in my life. So I appreciate the district commitment to that as well.
Good evening, I'm Ramika Graham, member. As a school board member, how would you ensure that all students, regardless of their background, learning needs, or life experiences, feel valued, supported, and able to succeed in our schools?
Yes, I appreciate that question because it's a question that's asked in so many different capacities in interview spaces especially. And I think the answer is always to meet them where they are. I think it's important that we understand where the students are. I think as community members, we understand where our schools are going, where our teachers are, the support that they need. And I think that's the best way we make sure we're supporting those students. I think with the diverse array of students that are represented in Wayne Township, it's essentially that the people that are educating them and also the school board that is you know, tending to them is also representative of what makes up the township. And I think with you know the challenges that we're facing and the challenges we may face tomorrow, I think it's important to continue to seek out what it is that the students need and the type of support. I think Wayne does a great job with the opportunities that are offered already, and I think we continue to enhance those and continue to remain focused on how do we get the students to the next level and how do we improve their overall outcomes and not just by the time they leave high school.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for being here tonight. I'm Sherry O'Day Marcotte. I have a double question for you, so I'll ask the whole question and come back and ask the second part if you need me to. But what is the best way to address differences of opinion within the board or between board members and administration? And as a follow-up, could you support a board decision that you did not vote in favor of? Why or why not?
I think I'll answer the second part first.
Okay, perfect.
I think the answer to the question was, can I support a board decision that I didn't vote in favor of? I think as a board, there are going to be times where everyone doesn't agree on whatever it is, and that's based on our experiences. It's based on the impact that we believe that decision will create. And I think it's important to understand that our opinions will be different and they'll be our own, but I think as a united front and as a board, it's important to support differences of opinion. I think that, you know, I'll advocate the best I can for what it is that I think is the correct opinion, but also know that I don't know everything. I know that some other people have experiences and that might precede mine. I know that it's important to consult folks who are in these spaces to understand what it is that is leading to these different decisions. And so I do think that I will be able to, while I might not agree with it, support a decision that comes from the board, because I understand how the board works. And the first part of your question.
You sort of answered that, but the best way to address the differences of opinion between the board or possibly with the board and administration.
Yes, I think it's important in that approach, I think we think about facilitative leadership and understanding that, I'm making to remove my own biases from this conversation and understand what that might look like and what possibilities might come from that experience. And I think through dialogue and deliberation is the best way to kind of figure that out. I think having relationships with the folks on the board and not just a transactional experience is important to understand their depth and their commitment to the township and believe in the faith that they are committed to the township.
Good evening, Mr. Griffin. My name is Ben Wakefield. I'm a board member, and I would like to ask if you could describe for us how you would approach collaborating with a group of individuals who may hold different perspectives, and how you'd apply that approach when working with fellow board members here.
Can you ask that one more time?
Absolutely. Describe how you approach collaborating with a group of individuals who may hold different perspectives. So this is more about the approach you go about.
Yes, absolutely. I think similar to the remarks I gave to Sherry, I think it's important that we are open-minded, and I think it's important that while my opinions may be one thing, or I think it's important to understand that people are to be heard. I think it's important that I open up the opportunity to give space there. I think collaboration isn't just a one-way street. I think I have to be open to those different perspectives and keeping true to my values and what's important in my role as a hopeful school board member, and understanding that it is the best interest of the district to evaluate these different types of dialogues and deliberations.
Mr. Griffin, the time commitment is necessary in the role of being a board member. Therefore, what do you believe is involved or should be included within that time commitment? How would you expect to spend your time as a board member, or what do you believe is an appropriate commitment of time for your board service?
I think when applying for this position, I understood the high level of impact that it will have. And it is something that I hope to prioritize and make as one of my top priorities. I think the time commitment for the board, I see it as a full-time opportunity. I see it as something that I'm taking with me wherever I go. I think that looks like community partnerships and community impact. What does that look like when I'm showing up in different spaces? How do I continue to support Wayne and bring folks into Wayne and allow them to understand the things that Wayne is doing, how strategic the vision is for Wayne, and how we can continue to involve our business leaders, how we can continue to involve our state leaders, and in a lot of the spaces that I show up. I mentioned that I work for Indiana University, and I travel a little bit across the state, and one of my roles is to visit with alumni and donors, and I'm connecting often them to our mission. And how do you see yourself falling into our mission? How can we support you? And I think that's a big role, a big part of the role when it comes to being a school board member, as well as setting the agenda for the mission. What are these policies actually look like, and how do we continue to improve and better ourselves as a district in alignment with the how to that with the superintendent.
Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Griffin. My name is Karen Berman. I'm the secretary. My question is, how would you describe your understanding of school budgeting and financial decision making, and what factors would guide your thinking when considering whether a referendum is necessary to support district needs?
Yes, my understanding, of education or school, budgets, align with my, understanding of, public budget and finance. And I think it's important that we also always consider, the risk, with these different decisions that are being made when it comes to budget, and operating in the budget. I think with recent federal, and state changes to education, it's created, some tough times where we might have to, look at the resources that we have and figure out alternative ways to be, and be innovative in those ways. I think, when we think about referendums, we have to realize what's at stake for the community as well. It's not just about, the school district, what are going to be the impacts on the families of the school district? And we misconsider those things. I think Wayne has been ahead of the game when it comes to how we think about those things. I remember times in high school when, we were on the verge of possibly, needing to think through different ideas or plans for Vindays University, and the community would have to come together and find solutions to that. And so, I think about how we continue to innovate in these approaches, and, understanding that, these are challenging times that we're facing currently, that, we're gonna need to put our heads together and kind of figure out what that, is gonna look like.
Mr. Griffin, last question. Please share why you are the best candidate for the position of MSD of Wayne Township Board Member.
Yes, I believe that I will be the best candidate, for the next Wayne Township Board Member because of my commitment to Wayne. Wayne has been a part of my life since I can remember. I think, when I think about, or when I talk to my friends who are fellow Wayne alumni, it feels like home. When I graduated college, immediately, connected with folks from Wayne Township to find out different ways I can be involved. I continue to stay involved even through college, whether that was mentoring students, whether that was coming back to speak in classes or emceeing a show art competition. I have remained committed to service and advocacy, throughout the state of Indiana, but especially within Wayne Township. I think Wayne has given me as a student, as a teenager, and as an adult now, so much. And I would love to continue to bring my expertise and skills, whether that's, from board and governance management, whether that's from financial literacy, whether that's from involvement in student life. I want to continue to, be a vessel that, improves the outcomes in this district. And I'm a community member of this district and committed to, the entirety of the success of this district.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time this evening.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Is there sound yet after so?
No, I didn't. Mr. President, we do have some time until the next candidate. It's your pleasure. You can take a break if you want to call that. If not, it's fine. We can wait until the next candidate's ready to come in.
Standing board is currently 5:48. Next candidate is scheduled at 6 p.m. If you need to, take a brief moment, got a couple of minutes. Good evening, Ms. Morales. My name is Brandon Bowman. I'm honored to serve as president of the board. I'll start the interview question this evening. Please tell us about yourself and what led you to apply for the position of board member for the Metropolitan School District of Wayne Township.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me and inviting me for this, opportunity that is very honorable, and that I'm just excited to be here to chat a little bit more about you. I've been living in the Wayne Township district basically ever since I moved here from Denver, Colorado. What brought me to Indiana was grad school. Afterwards, the plan was to head back home east with my parents, but there's just something about Indianapolis that kind of keeps you here. So I went on to launch my career working for the city of Indianapolis. I've been fortunate to have several various roles from data analysis to community building to now more senior level of kind of working to support our diverse community members. Also being more engaged with different organizations outside of my role with the city. And what kind of piqued my interest in the position was, of course, I have a 10-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter. And my son, he's been at Garden City Elementary, so kind of just hearing about the opportunity and a way to give back meaningfully. My son always tells me, Mom, why don't you be a teacher? And I want to see you at school. And I'm like, okay. I try to volunteer on field trips. I try to support on the, parent-teacher opportunities that we do have. But I always did feel like, how can I give back, right? So I feel like those have been those opportunities that I've had. But I feel like this would be an even more meaningful opportunity just to be able to be part of the board and bring my unique perspective as a first generation Latina, bilingual, grew up in the U.S. K through 12 public education system, and also just understanding how diverse Wayne Township has become.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Ms. Morales. My name is Susan Graves. I'm the Vice President of the School Board. So could you share with us what you know about the MSD of Wayne Township?
I know that it's, again, like I said, a very diverse township. I'm also a PhD student, so one of my assignments a couple of semesters back was to look into a school district, and so I, of course, chose where I live, which is Wayne Township. And I kind of did a spatial analysis about the township, trying to understand the different student population and how they've changed over the years, as well as the assets in the community, what is available for families, how can schools partner better with community organizations and so forth. Another thing that I loved about Wayne Township is the language access program that they do have, the multilingual nights. So my niece and nephew, I became their legal parent guardian a couple years ago. So they kind of went to Lyndhurst and they went to Penn Davis, they both graduated. So just even knowing all the different opportunities that they would have after, whether they wanted to take the traditional, I'm going to go to college track, or they wanted to go into a trade, or they wanted to focus on a different type of path after high school. So even kind of seeing how they were supported through that transition, and then seeing it from my son's perspective as an elementary student, and all the different things that Dr. Poindexter does to kind of create community at Garden City Elementary, but also just the different partnerships that I see between the schools, between the educators, and how the teachers support the students.
Good evening, I'm Ramika Graham, board member. As a school board member, how would you ensure that all students, regardless of their background, learning needs, or life experiences, feel valued, supported, and able to succeed in our schools?
Well, I would definitely say, how are we ensuring that our educators have the resources and tools to create those environments? How do we create that partnership with the superintendent to be able to kind of bring, as education continues to evolve, as there's new technological advances, how do we kind of support that access to create that environment? How do we continue fostering community here in Wayne Township, especially when it comes to, again, like I said, our multilingual families, our multilingual students, for them to see themselves reflected within Wayne Township, regardless of what school, what grade level, what language, and where they might be from, or just their overall background. But I definitely think that just the way that we support our educators and our building administrators to have those resources to create that environment within the schools, like that is where the students will feel it the most, because this is where they're spending, I would say probably 80% of their time throughout the year is in school, 5 days a week. And so the best way is having that partnership with the superintendent, ensuring that, you know, decisions are being made that supports the resources and the tools for our educators and the things that.
I'm Sherry O'Day Marcotte, and I'm a school board member also, but I'm also going to tell you that I think your son's at a great school. I spent 6 years there as assistant principal and principal at Garden City, so once a Gator, always a Gator, as we said. So,
Mike then already said that.
I know. So I'm going to ask you, what's the best way to address differences of opinion within the board or between the board and administration? And then the second part of my question, which I can repeat later if you need me to, is could you support a board decision that you did not vote in favor of and why or why?
I'll answer the second question first. I would definitely say that if it's for the greater good, most definitely. I feel like we see this a lot within different stuff that we see happening in the community. There are some decisions or even meetings on various boards where I might not agree with something, but I am able to relate and understand if there is a greater good impact coming from this for those who we are being tasked with to, you know, make that decision, that governance decision. And kind of, again, a response to your first question would be, this happens a lot. And I think we can always find common ground. And what is that common ground? Like, how do we listen to each other, but not listen to each other to the point where, okay, I'm just gonna listen until I can speak, but really listen. But at the same time, how are we, I would say, keeping in mind, you know, that this is, again, the decisions, the perspectives, the point of view that is being brought to kind of find a collaborative working point between the board should reflect, like, what do our families want, what do students want, what do educators want. And so I think from that angle, definitely never taking anything personal, because nothing is personal at the end of the day. And so just trying to find that point where we can see, not maybe exactly eye to eye, but I can understand your angle. And then we can kind of find where we can.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Ben Wakefield, I'm a fellow board member, and I want to ask if you could describe how you approach collaborating with a group of individuals who may hold different perspectives, and how you would apply that approach when working with fellow board members.
So I've had to work with a lot of folks in the past where, you know, we do not see eye to eye. I would definitely say, definitely again, a lot of just getting to understand their perspective and where they come from, having that boundary of respecting their position, their point of view. I think my approach has always been more also kind of going to trusted folks or my personal board of directors and trying to hear from another perspective where it's not just me and it's not just the person that I might not really understand, but kind of getting that third person perspective because there could be something that I'm not seeing. Which I think is a good way for everyone to reflect, to take that moment to kind of, and also definitely not making decisions or anything when, you know, you are not feeling, in the best kind of taking that approach. I feel like that's how I've taken it, kind of more, listen first, speak afterwards, once time has been taken to reflect.
Time commitment is necessary in the role of being a board member. What do you believe is involved or should be included within the time commitment?
I would definitely say that, I believe, it depends on how many hours a month. I feel like I can commit to 10 to max 15 hours a month, if that is required. Especially with my different responsibilities. Right now, I finished my coursework in my PhD program, so I'm preparing for my qualifying exams. And I believe that has allowed me to have more time to, again, take on different opportunities, which is why I was interested in this, because my husband said, well, in the past, my husband would always say, are you sure you can do that? Because you take about 2 classes every semester and you have a lot of reading, have a lot of homework. But now it's different. It's been different ever since I finished my coursework. And also I'm on a current board, which my term will be expiring by the end of May next year. So that'll definitely free up time. And I believe like the commitment would be, of course, to review minutes, to review information that is probably provided beforehand during the board meeting, or just being well prepared for whatever decision or topic will be discussed at the board meeting. So that's how I would handle it. That's how I envision the time commitment being. I can confidently say I can commit up to 15 hours if that is what is asked each month. But
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Karen Burke and I'm the secretary for the board. My question would be, how would you describe your understanding of the school budgeting and financial decision making? What factors would guide your thinking when considering whether a referendum is necessary to support the district's needs?
I would definitely lean a lot on, so as a parent in the school district, I filled out a lot of surveys asking our input. What kind of data has been gathered through surveys, what outreach has been done by those who have, like, when it comes to stakeholder analysis by the district, and what has been that feedback, right? Because definitely want to make an informed decision based on what our families feel, what our community members feel, to make that decision. And when it comes to budgeting and financing, I mean, definitely leading in also on the reality of what our school district staff that are the experts around that are seeing and what they're presenting. But then also, I mean, I guess I would also say, kind of also playing devil's advocate of like, are there other school districts who have faced similar situations and how did they approach that from an angle of being kind of looking for creative solutions as well, not just only thinking, well, this is just it, because I feel like in my day-to-day, in my professional life, as a student, I'm always looking at what other cities have done, what other ways, situations have been addressed that have been similar, to see if there is a different or even better way that hasn't been considered that we could consider. Leaning on experts, but also trying to ensure that listening to our families, our community members.
Ms. Morales, last question. Please share why you are the best candidate for the position of MSD of Wayne Township Board Member.
I'm the best candidate for this position because I do reflect the changing diversity of this school district. I am bilingual. I understand the needs that our families who are choosing Wayne Township to be here to establish their roots here. And as they establish to do that, I personally do feel that that should be reflected when decisions are being made, especially around finances and policy. Additionally, when we look at how many students are first generation as well, or will be first generation in their family, you know, that should also be reflected on this board as well, even more. I'm also the perfect candidate because I am very familiar with Wayne Township. I've lived here ever since I moved here from Indiana. Some might say I'm already a Hoosier. I bring good expertise on data. So I do have a background in data analysis through geographic information systems. So kind of bringing those blends to this body. And additionally, just kind of understanding the landscape that things shift at the state level that end up impacting school districts and our funding. So kind of all these different skill sets have made me to be in this moment here tonight and to hopefully give back to the school district that has done so much love and that has really created a lot of great memories for my niece, my nephew, and of course my children.
So much. Really appreciate your time this evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. And happy holidays.
Same to you.
Mr. President, I know we're scheduled for a break and you're welcome to start that in.
Okay, at 6:19. Suspended. 6:50.
6:50, okay.
We're a little ahead of schedule. Good evening, Mr. Payne. Good evening. My name is Brandon Bowman. I'm honored to serve as president of the board, and I'll start with you. Any questions this evening? Please tell us about yourself and what led you to apply for the position of board member for the MSD of Wayne Township.
Well, I'm from the west side, but I went to Barberville High School. Side in the 80s. And I don't know how to explain this. It just always felt as if never knew for sure the next year whether my school was going to be there or not. The teachers were going to be there. I'll be honest, when I first walked in to do my student teaching at the Davis, I thought, what have we done? What have we gotten ourselves into? But by the time I left, I just loved it there so much. And I feel as if Township has really opened doors for me for my life that I probably would have had if I was working somewhere else. And that's one of the main reasons why it's interesting. Just some way to maybe pay back a little bit of what I had.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, Mr. Payne. I'm Susan Graves. I'm the Vice President of the School Board. My question is, share with us what you know about the MSD of Wayne Township.
Which I need to. But I would say that that's what I try to explain to you. With size comes opportunities. The more students you have, the more programs you can have, the more options there are. You know, we're under attack just like every other public school institution in the country. But I think it's a really close-knit staff, seem to support each other, look out for each other, look out for the community. The schools are really kind of the only unified fact that we still have, I feel, in society. But definitely on the west side, it's the only thing that everybody recognizes that we can acknowledge and talk about.
Good evening, I'm Ramika Graham, board member. As a school board member, how would you ensure that all students, regardless of their background, learning needs, and life experiences, feel valued, supported, and able to succeed in our schools?
That is a problem that I've wrestled with my whole professional career. I'm trying to make sure that every student feels as if they are valued when they're there. I think we have to acknowledge student successes. We have to help students when they have problems. They have made mistakes, made poor decisions, just as I made poor decisions when I was a teenager. I had people there to help guide me back to the right path. I think those are the important things. We can show kids that we are excited that they are part of our community, part of our classroom, part of our sports team, whatever it might be. I think we can do that and encourage them to continue to try and show them that we're there for them, whether they're successful or not. I think that can go a long way towards making the school system where all the kids are excited to be there, as much as you can ask young people to be excited about learning. It's getting to be a much more difficult task to remember what I was like when I was in school, but I have friends that remind me that I was not perhaps the most dedicated student. I could study much better. But I think that encourage them, trying to seek them out for opportunities, encouraging them. I think it's really, you have to know them and talk to them and build relationships with them and really help them with the task or system.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Payne. I'm Sherry O'Day Marcotte. I have a question for you about differences of opinion, but it's a two-part question. So I'll give both of them, and then I can come back and repeat it if you need me to. But what, in your opinion, is the best way to address differences of opinion within the board or between the board and administration? And as a follow-up, could you support a board decision that you did not vote in favor of? And why or why not?
I think that the only way you can really avoid those kinds of conflicts is have open communication and continue to, from the beginning, all the way through the process, so people understand what's happening, why people want that to happen. I'm sure I could support a decision that I thought maybe I just differed with as far as philosophy, but I'm not sure if the support what I thought was going to be harmful to anyone.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Payne. My name is Ben Wakefield, and my question's similar topic. Can you describe how you approach collaborating with a group of individuals who might hold different perspectives, and how you would apply that approach when working with members of this board?
Try to be open and honest about what you're trying to accomplish. Try to maybe seek out their assistance, some of their input. I found that just that working with teachers from multiple backgrounds, that if you want to accomplish something together with a giant group like that, you have to find some common ground that everyone agrees on. Everyone may not agree on the methodology, but you have to agree on the objective. Then once you've done that, then you can negotiate, discuss, actually that distribution.
Time commitment is necessary in the role of being a board member. What do you believe is involved or should be included with the time commitment?
I'm not sure what you're.
What do you believe, or what is your understanding of the time commitment necessary to be a successful board member? And what do you feel should be included with that commitment?
Well, I think that you be present, be involved, and more than just board meetings, probably be in the community a little bit, talk to people, hear what people are about, share that. As far as time commitments, I'm not really sure, because I'll be honest, like most teachers, I only care about what happens. My kids, my students, what's happening there. But I think you have to be available when problems arise. Because I know that, just speaking from my personal experience as a teacher, I always felt very confident that the board would protect our school, protect our teachers. You know, I never worried about that. That never crossed my mind that it would be a problem. So availability is probably the most important thing. You show up, be there if there's a need. As far as what's involved, I'm probably a little too ignorant right now to know exactly the process is involved.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Payne. My name is Karen Burke, and I'm the secretary of the school board. My question is, how would you describe your understanding of school budgeting, financial decision-making, and what factors would guide your thinking when considering whether a referendum is necessary to support the district needs?
I know that funding is shrinking every year. So I think that we have to honest about that with the community. I think in Wayne Township, we have extremely supportive community. They've never asked for help a single time from not received some. We have never not had help. But I think that we have to also be aware that there are concerns about spending in the community. We may not be as knowledgeable about processes and needs, so we need to be more forthcoming, open, talk about what the problems are, let people know what is coming down the track towards them, so that people can make those decisions with some good information.
Mr. Payne, last question this evening. Please share why you are the best candidate for the position of MSD of Wayne Township Board Member.
But, I will say this, I moved to the township, to live and work in the same community, and I never regretted that decision for a second. I love the school system. I'm so proud of what our students have accomplished. It's made my adult life. I felt as if I had reached pretty much all the goals I had as a teacher. Schools, lives, see people out there in the community. Okay, even though most of them I recognize them, talking to me 15, 20 years ago, and they're old now, and I'm much older, but I love Wayne Township. I'll be honest, I've been so busy since I retired that I haven't really been able to miss school. The last week or two, as I drive by it, so then I remember now, then stressed and really, it was great, all this stuff. But I love the community, and I would very much like to have an opportunity to get back to it. It feels if I have gotten so much from the community.
Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate your time this evening.
Thank you. Happy to see you. Thank you.
President, would you like to call a break?
Is our next candidate here?
No.
Okay, we will suspend our interviews at 6:55.
Thank you.
That's great story. Great story.
Good evening.
Ms. Simon, my name is Brandon Bowman. I'm honored to be president of the Board of Education, and I'll start the interview questions this evening.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Thank you.
Could you tell us about yourself and what led you to apply for the position of board member for the Metropolitan School District of Wayne Township?
Yes. I do want to start off by saying that I'm not much of a public speaker. I haven't done it in a while, so please forgive me if I'm a little nervous or rusty. My name is Carla Simon. I'm 48 years old. I've been a long-time resident of Forsyth, Indianapolis. I have worked about 19 years at Rolls-Royce, North America, in the field of non-destructive testing, fluorescent penetrant inspection. It is a highly technical process. It is collaborative with other operations within our facility. We do a lot of quality, safety, and technical research and development things. I'm also a mother of 5. I didn't have them all, but I have 2 children. They are both young adults. I'm a mother of a veteran, very proud of that, and a grandma of 2 5 and 7-year-olds. And then I have 3 very intelligent, very independent stepchildren who live out of state as well. I am involved civically with my union. I am a UAW Local 933 representative. And I sit on the CAP committee, the Civil Rights Committee, the Community Committee, as well as the Labor Organizing Committee. I'm a member of the NAACP Indianapolis chapter, very proud of that, and the work that we do. And I am the precinct president for District 14 in Wayne Township as well. I'm married to an educator who I have grown to be very passionate about education through his passion.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, Ms. Simon. My name is Susan Graves, and I'm the Vice President of the school board. My question is, share with us what you know about the MSD of Wayne Township, please.
So I've done a lot of research, and I have notes, if you bear with me, I'm sorry. So one of the things I'm really proud of Wayne Township School District is its diversity. We're number 1 in diversity within the state of Indiana. I also love all of the programs for career readiness that we offer. That was a huge point of pride for me, all the things that you guys do for the community. I'm also very much aware of the test scores, what's going on with school test scores and things like that. I also understand that we service a large English as a second language demographic. So finding teachers and that are qualified to teach who are bilingual is important, as well as we offer some programs for high ability learners. Impressed with a lot of the programs and wraparound services that the district offers as well.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Ramika Graham, board member. As a school board member, how would you ensure that all students, regardless of their background, learning needs, or life experiences, feel valued, supported, and able to succeed in our school?
Very thoughtful question. How would I ensure that every student felt valued, supported? By championing and advocating for services that fit each individual student and making sure that we're addressing the student as a whole, but not just their education. So there are things that they need outside of school, like resources for housing and security or food insecurity, making sure we have those programs and things available to help.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sherry O'Day Marcotte. I'm also a school board member. I want to ask you about the best way. It's a two-part question, so I'll repeat the second part. You can answer the second part first, I would like to. But what, in your opinion, is the best way to address the differences of opinion within the board, between the board and administration? And then the second part is, could you support a board decision that you did not vote in favor of, and why not?
I would support it with respect. I would respect, I think, agreements, and especially in civic areas, are necessary because we're having a diverse panel of experiences and opinions. But disagreeing doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It gives us an opportunity to learn. And whenever I'm presented with enough data and facts, I'm easily able to realign my opinion of things. Because it's more important to me that I am correct and I'm right. And any decision that whether or not I championed it or not, that the board came to in a democratic way, I would support, because I think unity is very important on the board. That we show a unified front. And I believe that if the board came to that decision, it would be based off of facts and considering the students and the families first.
Thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Simon. My name is Ben Wakefield. I'm a fellow board member as well. And my question is on a similar topic. Can you describe how you approach collaborating with a group of individuals who may hold different perspectives, and how you would apply that approach working with fellow members of the school board?
Labor advocacy and working with the community. I often run into people that I don't agree with, but as long as our focus is on the same thing, there's always a path to finding mutual ground. So just being a good listener and communicating well about the topics and having it be supported with facts and data. Any disagreement that anyone has can be swayed with information if we're all working towards the same goal.
Time commitment is necessary in the role of being a board member. What do you believe is involved or should be included with the time commitment as a board member?
Can you clarify the question in terms of like commitment?
And what is your understanding of the commitment required to be a successful board member, or what do you feel should be included as part of the time you commit to your board service?
I understand the question correctly. And I believe that my commitment to the board would be whatever time that's designated for board work, maybe like work sessions and meetings that we hold open for the public, and possibly even additional time to go out in schools to look at projects and issues and speak with the community leaders and things of that nature.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me. My name is Karen Burke, and I'm the school board secretary. My question is, how would you describe your understanding of school budgeting and financial decision making? And what factors will guide your thinking when considering whether a referendum is necessary to support district needs?
My understanding of the school budget, I understand that budgeting is a really tough issue right now. A lot of the legislative decisions and the fact that we're having to split recommended funding with church schools and other things, it's made it really hard to continue some of the great service that I have a lot of pride and Warren Township about, you know. But I think that the decisions will be made equitably, not dividing them up amongst programs just to save them, but see what best fits the needs and services of the children and the families in our community. I don't know if I answered the second part of that question or not.
Simon, the last question this evening. Please share why you are the best candidate for the position of MSD of Wayne Township's board member.
A lot of candidates that apply, so I can't say for a fact that I do best, but I know my heart and my intention and where I'm coming from is from a service, and I think I'd be the most passionate. My desire is to work in my community and to open doors for children and families to allow them opportunities. Because I've been in those positions and those services that help me a lot.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Yeah, sorry, I apologize for being for.
Oh, no, you're fine.
And I wish you guys the best of luck.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
At 7:18, we're adjourned from our special board meeting.
Mr. President, I believe we have to take a motion and a second.
Motion to close our session at 7:18.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any comment or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Suggs. Yes, ma'am.